I don't
Definitely.
mind sharing.
So the next big race I wanted to talk about was one of my like the most exciting races I've seen, and I just watched it again today to refresh my memory. But it was the
Oh,
2015 Indoor Nationals.
oh,
Fun fact: you're the second guest I've had who's ran sub four, and the second guest in that race. The
yeah.
first being Daniel Wynn.
Daniel Wynn. Yeah, yeah, yep. I saw on your Instagram like a little blurb of him.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, look, it's Daniel.
So that's pretty cool. My goal now to have Johnny and Edward and Chad on.
Oh,
So
okay.
get
Yeah,
everyone
that'd be
in
good.
that race.
Johnny's post race interview was so fun. I still remember that. Like, there's a little interview of him where James Cameron at the time, who was covering like the whole at the time he was doing the whole Soratos piece, like the whole thing about me and trying to beat Ches and the UW, everything. Like there was a whole thing on me that year, and he was doing all of it. And he interviewed Johnny at the end, and he threw that little interview in one like the ending trailer, and it was like Johnny was just like, "Oh yeah, I'll just like," he's like, "Yeah, I just figured we had a game plan. I'll just tuck right in," and then he was like, "Boom, he's gone." He's just like, and he was like, "Oh well, I guess I'm gonna sit back now." And he's just like, and then what he said, he was like, props to him. He's like, I've never seen anybody do that. He was like, yeah, it was a good plan.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, it was a good plan unless you're being chased by the greatest NCAA athlete to ever walk this fucking earth. Like,
Right.
I tell people all the time, I go, the amount of luck in my life to getting second place in every substantial race is unreal. So, like, it dates back to, like, high school. I got second in our league championships in the 1600, which was like the most significant race at the time for me. Junior college, I got second at state. Mind you, my 1500 time would have won the state title every year for the last 30 years, except for that year. So
Damn.
I would have been state champion any other year. But I got second. So it's like, oh, I got second, and I was a part of the fastest 1500 meter in California junior college history. So that's why I got second. So it's like, okay, there's some bad luck. And then it's like, okay, now let's go to the national title game national title race. And I just beat convincingly. I beat the former reigning NCAA champion, Anthony Rotich, UTEP. The year before that, Ches wasn't in the mile, and Anthony Rotich was the NCAA champion, and he smoked everyone. And I beat him by a clean 2.5 seconds. So it's like I beat the former NCAA champion, but who's also in that race? Again, the greatest NCAA athlete to ever walk this earth. Like, that's just my luck to where it's like, that's who beat me. And at the same time, it's like tip of the cap. And I can't really be too upset because I'm like, when I think about it, it's like, yeah, you lost to the greatest. It's like you're still salty. It's like losing to Jordan or losing to Kobe. Like how? I mean, I just kind of go. I did everything I could.
And an important distinction for everyone listening: he's referring to the best NCAA athlete ever, not just in track or cross country.
No,
Show me someone who's won as much as Cheserek in any other
yes.
sport.
For anyone who doesn't know in chat, the guy that beat me in the 2015 Indoor National Championship mile race is not just the greatest NCAA college. He's not just the greatest college athlete for track. He is the greatest college champion in all of sports college history. No athlete in the history of sports or college has won more national individual titles than Edward Cheserek. That is who I lost to. So again, how can I be mad? I'm not, but like, am I still like, why me? Kind of like I'm cursed, like this second place. I'm like, why? Why did my luck? I couldn't just, like a little, but at the same time, it's like, it's not really a curse. I jokingly call it a curse. That's not real. It's just like, that's how the cookie crumbles.
It's how life goes. So
As Bruce Nolan would say.
Talk about your strategy going into that race and your decision to make the move when you did, and then we'll get into.
Well, the strat was that in a sense where my coach was like, we're not going to let this be a sandbag race. He was just like, fuck that. We're not just going to sit back. He's like, you're in way too good a shape. There was a workout that I did going into that race that I did. Mind you, this is a workout I did in elevation. They covered it. They did a video of it. So it's one of my favorite workouts of all time. It's 2283. So it's a 200, a 200, and 800 all at mile pace, and then a 300 at 800 pace. Recovery usually goes 90 seconds, 90 seconds. Actually, no, 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 4 minutes. So a good amount of recovery. That's why it's supposed to be at like true race pace. So 2283. I'll just say the 800 splits throughout the set. I went 159, 158, 152 at the end of a workout. In elevation, I ran a 152 at the end of a workout on my third set of that.
At elevation.
Yeah, in elevation, mind you. So, like, I was fit. Like, my coach was looking at me like, dude, you're in, like, 350 shape. You just haven't had the race. Like, he told me that. He's like, you are, like, in insanely good shape right now. Yeah, you ran 355. He's like, but you can run so much faster if you have the right race. Like, so the strat was, we're going to use that fitness. If it's slow, he's like, I want you to take off at 1,000. And now, mind you, when he said take off, he didn't mean run a 53 in the middle of the race. So I did. He meant like ditch them and start running like sub 4 pace and then slowly chop it down. That was the original like thought of like, you know, I could close this out and still drop the hammer to the last 200. What I did was a little bit different. I just like, I don't know what came over me. It was probably the most impulsive decision I've ever made in a race. Like,
it was at 400, right?
It was 600.
600. Okay.
Yeah, 600. It was literally the most impulsive decision I've ever made in a race. I don't know what it was. Adrenaline, nerves, just a combination of everything. You know, people always like to give me credit, but I tell people all the time, I go, that was really stupid of me, guys. Like, that was not a smart move. Like, yeah, I took literally 80% of the race out of it because only 2 people went with me, and that was Cheserek and Rodich. Those are the only 2 guys that went with me. I was like, that was a really stupid thing I did. Yeah, that wasn't what I was supposed to do. But I think I honestly, I had no sense of pace in that moment. All I knew was, you know, you can see me say the words in the race. Like, I say fuck it. I literally say fuck it in the middle of the race. Like, we're just jogging. I'm right behind Kidder, and I'm just like, I remembered 1,000 meters go. So I was like, fuck it. Like, I'm going. Like, I'm not letting this hold. And so I take off, and the crowd reaction was actually insane. You can't really tell in the race video, but like, they started like roaring, and like, you saw half the stands like stand up, like, like, what is happening? Like, everyone was like on their feet, like, because it's also at the University of Arkansas. They don't like Oregon. They're track rivals. Like, they are the 2 meccas of track. They don't like each other. So like, Arkansas, like, they have my back. I'll just say that. I don't know how many people after the race in Arkansas stuff came up to me just to be like, hey, that was an amazing race. Like, oh, we wanted you to win so bad. You did so well. And I'm like, oh, such friendly people around here. So, yeah, it was super impulsive. It wasn't exactly how we wanted to do it. But I think I just had so much adrenaline, and I was so decisive in just screw it, I'm going, that I got almost like lost in the moment. And I honestly, like, to tell you the truth, I had no concept of how fast I was going. All I knew is that I took off, and I'm going to just keep going until I can't. Like, that was it. It was like, I'm going to go, and I'm going to see how long I can just keep going until my legs say, oh, well, that's it. You're done. And unfortunately, funny enough, I actually psyched myself out a little, not a lot, but we knew where Ches liked to make his move. Mm-hmm. Notoriously, throughout the entire season, it was always at 250 leading into that bell lap. It was right at the bell lap. He would overtake, and then he would take that first turn, and he'd be ahead at 200, and then just that last 200, bye. He didn't go by me then. In my head, as I was running that race, I knew he was behind me, and my brain was like, get ready. Like, I was like preparing myself to respond to it. When he didn't go, it, like, I can tell you vividly, like, I remember in my head when I hit bell and he didn't go, I was like almost thrown off by it. I was like, wait, where the hell is he?
Mhm.
Like, what happened? And then when he took off at 150, I was like, oh, fuck, there it is. And then when I thought that, it's just game over. I mean, and to be fair,
Yeah.
I was gassed. Like, I was gassed. I ran a 53 to I ran a 151 800 in the middle of a mile race. So it's like, it's just not going to end well.
Yeah. No, but at the end of the day, I don't think you could have ran that race any better. Um,
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people tell me that, like, you know, they watch that race and other runners, other people at the meet, they gave me a lot of credit, but they were like, dude, you made him work for that.
yeah,
They
more
were
than
like,
anyone else has really.
right. They're like, you made him earn that. Like, yeah, he won and took off again, but like, he had to work really hard for a longer amount of time. Like, someone was actually forcing him to like push more his limits than just sit back and be a strategic kick. You know, like, people have beat him in strategic kicks, but that's not really pushing someone's physical limit.
Right.
And that's where they're like, no, you pushed him to a physical limit, which a lot of people were like, that's why he didn't go at 200. He didn't have a 250 kick. He only had a 150 or 125 kick left in him because you took that out. Like, he was only comfortable taking off at the very, very last second versus a lot sooner than he would normally. And I was like, okay, like, all right. Yeah,
I guess.
I took Jordan to the buzzer. Like, all right, like, fine. I'll take that in the win column, I guess. Like, nah, it's something like I look back and it would have been nice to be like, yeah, I was, won a national title and be that like crazy underdog story, Yeah, but at the same time, it's like, I mean, like, who I'm up against. It's just like I can't even be mad at that,
No,
and I'm not. It's just like, not at all. It's just like, he's literally, again, we just said, he's literally the greatest college athlete in the history of sports. Like what do you want me to do?
Yeah.
I'm just a band geek from Salinas. Like, leave me alone.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I was really cool to rewatch that today and obviously have you on. Just a great race, really inspiring the way you went after it. And It was so funny. I was looking in the comments and it was like, it's almost looked like reading your lips like, did he really say fuck it? And I was like, oh, no way, probably not. I got to ask him about that. And confirmed, you did.
I did.
That's
I did
awesome.
100%. I actually kind of feel bad for Brandon Kidder because he's had to hear me yell two things. So, okay. Now rewind to that 355 in Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
He's who I passed, right? Like, he's who I beat. He got second. I got first in that race. Well, so I had friends at the top of the turn in Seattle, like, going nuts. I had one friend. His name is Tim Cummings. I don't know if you know who he is, but he ran for UW, and I had met him the Thanksgiving break before. I actually partied with the UW cross team that Thanksgiving break.
Nice.
But I saw him at the top of the turn literally do this. He was like he jumped up, slaps his hands on the track, is like yelling at me, and I looked at him. I literally looked at him before I started kicking, and I yelled, I got more, baby. And then I took off. And so that's what Brandon Kidder heard me yell right before I leave. I'm literally mid-race, and I go, I got more, baby. And I freaking took off. And then now you fast forward to national championship race. I'm right behind him, and I go, fuck it. And
that's awesome.
Like, man, Brandon Kidder probably thinks I'm an asshole.
Yeah. I'll have to get him on, and we'll get his take.
No, yeah, you could ask him, be like,
you remember that?
Yeah, do you remember when Cristian said, fuck it, and then when he said, I got more? Because awesome. I'm like, literally, it was like right in his ear in both those races when I said that. I'm like, oh, that's kind of unfortunate timing. I hope you don't think I'm an asshole or anything. It's just adrenaline, man. It's just competitive adrenaline.
All right, so that was your senior year.
Yep.
Some great highlights, stories.
Crazy.
Talk about your decision to turn pro after you graduate.
Yeah, I mean, being a professional athlete was never something I desired to be. It was never a goal of mine. Even in college, when I started running sub 4, like, that never entered my brain. Like, go pro. You can be sponsored by Adidas. Like, all I knew was, like, again, my mind worked pretty naively, pretty simply. And I think, like, it worked for me. and it works in running when you